Hello, everybody. It's Larana, and it's time for Rose Garden Radio live from the very center of the universe, Canton, Ohio. Yay! Well, I'm happy to be here, and I'm really happy that you're here. And I'm going to do a short little pie story, and then I'm going to move on to a few pages of my book. And I really do appreciate you helping me do the deep editing dive. So, without any further ado, if this is your first time to Rose Garden Radio, welcome. And we're dedicated to helping you shift from 3D to what we call 5D, living fully from our hearts and living our dream life. And it's really possible. So, uh, I'm doing another short pie story, PIE, and I'm calling it When Lightning Strikes Your Pie, because so many things are happening right now for people. The energy is so ripe and strong right now to help you manifest. So I have a real story for you, and it's really a continuation, even though I didn't know it, of last week's pie story. So I always draw a circle for the pie, and I put a dot in the center, and that's your spiritual heart, and that's where everything manifests from. And it's as easy as pie, because all you have to do is think about what you desire, hold it in your spiritual heart, and let it go. You're going to pull all the pieces you need, whether it's through people or circumstance or whatever. You don't have to worry about those details. But the other thing you need to do is follow. You need to know when to say yes, or, when to move forward when you're presented with some of this. And that's it. It's as easy as pie. And it can be a lemon meringue pie or apple pie, peanut butter pie, your favorite kind of pie. So this is a shorty because I'm calling it When Lightning Strikes Your Pie. And if you remember last week, I was talking about the artist that manifested that identical table really through me. I mean, I was involved because I found it and brought it here, and asked her if she wanted it, blah blah blah. But you heard that story. So this week, Thursday, one of our beautiful alchemical beauties came in with a bag of clothes. And she's like, oh my gosh, I just cleaned and I really need to get rid of these. They're really good. I should probably take them to a consignment store, but I'm not going to. I just know that, Miss Larana, that you will know, what to do with them. So I was really happy to take them. There was another young woman, alchemical beauty here, and she went through and took some things. And all along I was thinking, that artist would really be the person I need to flag her down if I see her, and give her, have her look through this big bag of clothes, because she, knows so many other artists downtown that I know these guys would love this stuff, right? I could tell it was that vibe. So sure enough, there she comes, and I ran out and I'm like, come and look through this. And she came in and she's looking through it. Oh, and the first beauty had also given me this big old jewelry box. I mean, with drawers and this whole shamil, right? Okay, so that's the setup. So the artist comes in and she's like looking through, and she's like, and then I said, oh yeah, there's this jewelry box. Maybe you can use it in your studio. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. I was just thinking about I needed something to display this jewelry I'm making, right? And this is like the perfect funky thing. So the artist had some desires, just little desires, right? That's what I'm saying. But the time is ripe. Just little desires, not like a big life changing desire. But she had that desire and just thought about it, let it go, and somebody brought it here. I happened to flag her down, right? So she's going through the bag, and I had seen all the things in the bag, and I knew there was this one dress in there, this beautiful sort of velvet dress with still had the price tags on it, brand new. And she's like, "You're not going to believe this." I was really looking today and really wanting, my boyfriend is wearing like a pink suit to this event we have to go to. And I really was wanting a pink dress or this rosy pink or whatever. It's beautiful, like a rose quartz type color. But she's like, "This is going to be the perfect dress. I can't believe all this, right? I wanted this. I was looking for it, searching for it." So that's just my little story. Um, you never know how it's going to come. It could come in a trash bag of clothes, right? From a stranger you never met yet. But lightning can, it's ready to strike your pie. So dream on, my friends. Have that desire in your spiritual heart. Let it go and let it come to you. So that's my little story for today. Lightning striking your pie. It's all possible. And I worked on the book a little bit, and I'm going to read a few pages. Now, as you know, this is a young adult book, and we left off last time where Aunt Larana and Amy returned to the house, and they had been transported to Philadelphia in the 1700s. So, and then got back to the house. So this is the next day. The next day was pretty much a repeat of the one before. Something that smelled delicious wafted upstairs around the crack of noon. I got up, dressed, and drifted downstairs in leggings and a long-sleeved t-shirt. "Good day, sweet one," Aunt Larana chirped, gliding around the kitchen, completely into her creative moment. "You are right in time again," she said in a melodious, happy voice. "I don't know why, but I had a strong craving for beignets with dark French roast coffee this morning," my aunt laughed, which lit up her eyes even more. My special twist on the beignets, of course, torn into pieces and covered with fresh fruit, then topped with a dollop of thick homemade whipped cream, a little maple syrup, and a sprinkle of cardamom. It's a breakfast fit for queens. "I just put a plate of them on the table for you, honey," Aunt Lorana said as she tilted her head in the direction of the dining room. I went in and poured a cup of steaming black coffee, smiling to myself about how easily I was slipping closer into what I thought adulthood would be like. "I just love the smell of freshly brewed coffee," Aunt Lorana said as she walked into the dining room with her plate of beignets. "These beignets are wonderful," was all I was able to keep repeating between mouthfuls. "That's what I've been saying since the first time I had them, when I was living outside of New Orleans in 1866, my aunt replied dreamily. My head snapped up from my plate as I gave her my full attention. She proceeded to lay her napkin onto her lap and sip her coffee as if nothing she had said was out of the ordinary. "What do you mean, Aunt Larana?" I asked, looking at her serene face. "How is it possible that you could know that. I've heard of past lives, but it doesn't seem to me like anybody remembers the other lives they might have lived in any detail. That is very true, and a little bit false, my aunt replied, picking up her fork and selecting a chunk of loaded beignet. I will explain. Most people do not recall ever having lived another life. Those that can only have a vague sense that they have lived in another time, but nothing too detailed. Now, a small percentage of this group does become able to remember their other lives in more detail. When this happens, there's a shift in consciousness that we can discuss at another time, Aunt Larana concluded mysteriously. I continued to stare at my aunt while I felt that little wrinkle start to form in the middle of my forehead. One part of me thought this made perfect sense, while the other half thought it sounded crazy. I decided the best thing to do was to keep eating my fabulous pile of beignets until I could start to pull myself together. So, you remember being in New Orleans in the 1860s? I was able to ask after a few minutes. Yes, like it was today, my aunt laughed with a twinkle in her eyes, looking completely content and, more importantly, sane. I think I'll leave it there for today, you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Thanks for joining me. I love you all. And just keep on keeping on, okay? And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.